The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Welcome to today's Platinum Lead Conversion webinar with your host, Todd Walters.
Thanks, Andrea. Appreciate that. All right, look, you guys probably already know that once a month, typically the second week of the month, we do this webinar exclusively for Platinum members and their teams, anyone responsible for converting leads. And here's what I like to do with these webinars. We can call it team training. You can call it lead conversion training is the title that we've given it. But really, what it's about? It's about you affecting the outcome of all of these leads that you get every month. Many of you get a bunch of leads. Some of the leads are very receptive, open to talking to you, expecting your phone call, right? Calling you saying, hey, call me. I want to talk to you about selling my house. I want to talk to you about this house I saw for sale down the road, or what. You guys are pretty good at handling those calls, are you not? Okay. But a lot of the leads that you get, for example, so we've got about 300 Platinum members, and 165 of you use Commission's Inc. platform, and the rest of you use a hodgepodge of different systems. Okay, well, here's what I know about those leads. Those leads are not expecting your call. Those leads come in, and they're not expecting your call on any level. They're not anticipating a call from you. A lot of the lead generation systems that we use and that we give you in the Quantum Leap system generate leads that are not expecting a call. They've identified themselves as someone who's considering making a move, but they're not expecting your call. So there's two different kinds of leads that we're getting here, right? People that call you based on follow-up and other marketing, branded USP marketing, and say, I want to talk to you about selling my house. I want to talk to you about this program I saw. I want to talk to you about. Okay, and then there's a lot of leads that you get from Bold Leads, Commissions Inc., editorial ads, and that list. Find out what your home is worth online. Find out what homes in the neighborhood are selling for. Free reports, free list of homes, ads. They're not expecting your call. Okay? Those are the ones that, my tenure here, that the majority of agents seem to struggle with. I know that some of you are having some issues with sign calls. People that want something very specific, like, I want to know the price of that home. You give it, and you still fumble the ball on being able to recruit those people, convert those people to appointments. Like, I get all that, right? So we do these calls the second Tuesday of every month to work on getting better and doing a better job at lead conversion. And that does involve the universal callback script. Okay, now, what I just said, I said universal callback script. I didn't say legal callback script, I said universal, which means it can be universally applied. Okay, so let's take this step by step, and then we can ease into some role plan, and I'm going to give you some great insight today on how you can better convert more of all the leads that you get to appointments. And it's important that you carve out this time and this day every month to get your people, you and your people, on this webinar to get better and more proficient at converting the leads to appointments. I just hung up the phone with Dwayne Legate, who has the Commissions Inc. system, and we were talking about that a lot of people will buy it. A lot of you guys use HDX from Success, and you guys are using Bold Leads. Some of you guys are using, God knows what to generate leads. And he agreed with me, is that those systems, those leads, none of them work. None of them work without the coaching and the training. Okay, so what makes it all work? Is it just the coaching and the training? Because there's plenty of it out there, plenty of coaching and training. But what makes it work here, and I want you to hear me out on this very carefully, very closely, before I dive in here and show you what I'm getting ready to show you. Remember, I am just like you. I am a user. I bought Craig's system. I bought the Quantum Leap system because I wanted a millionaire agent business like Craig Proctor's. So I bought his system. And I knew when I bought it that if I wanted a business like his, he would have to show me personally how to use it. So I was fortunate enough to be able to convince him to do that over the course of the decade, and you guys know the story. Okay? So $25 million in commissions later, $1 billion in sales, here I am. Okay, so I've got unique perspective on this coming directly from the guy who developed it. Okay? But make no mistake about it, you have bought a system. You're on a team that bought a system. It's like buying a McDonald's franchise. Okay? And now you want it to benefit you fully, then it's your ability to copy it and implement it. But make no mistake about it, it's a marketing system, which means there's message, there's media, and there's market match. So different prospects require a little different matching all these things up. That's why the coaching and training is so important. So carve out this day every month to be on these webinars. You'll be the better for it. All right, so let's give an example of what I mean by universal callback script versus legal script. And I've got the coaching site up here. Okay, so I'm going to pull up the follow-up script, and I'm going to pause that for just a moment, and I'm going to open up something else right next to it that I want you to see. I didn't have this open on my system yet. It won't take me but a jiffy to pull it up. I have a folder on my computer that says scripts. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you this. Check this out. You guys will like this. This is my personal desktop. This is not my server. Okay, that's a whole different thing. This is my personal desktop. This is all my folders. Okay, that I have materials and just gobs, years of stuff that that I've gotten from you guys. I've helped you guys with. I've gotten from Craig that worked. Some of it didn't work. Whatever. Okay, it's all here. Okay, best of the best. So I'm opening up my script folder. Okay, and I'm going to pull up this C Inc. callback script that many of you have seen before. Okay, and I am going to minimize that just a little bit so I can pull up as well the coaching site. And let's put them side by side. You guys see that? All right. So here we go. Okay. Over here, and let's get a little drawing tool. I'll use a highlighter. Okay, over here, you have this introduction. Over here, you have the introduction. Okay, and if you will look at the scripts, they are exactly the same from a universal perspective. Okay, so if we said this was the legal, so if we change the name up here, the legal callback script, that means you would say exactly what you see in print here. So follow me. This is why the script does not work without the coaching and training. Okay? Because you need to know the message to media to market match part of this, and that's why we do these calls, these webinars with you every month, plus our helpline calls that we do for you. I mean, there's a lot of training going on. But look, you guys have bought a multi-millionaire real estate business system. It's going to require coaching and training to get it right forever. Forever. As long as you're going to use the system, we're going to help you. Okay? So, check it out. Mr. Smith, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is I received your request for, and you see right here it says the information. I received your request for a free report, 11 costly home inspection traps to know about before putting your home on the market for sale. And just want to let you know we've sent that on over there to you. Is that okay? Okay. Versus the Commissions Inc. lead. Hello, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate. And the reason I'm calling is I received your request to search for homes online using our property search site, houseatlanta.net. Just wanted to let you know that we've got you all set up there to search away. Is that okay? So you can see that what I just gave you is the universal callback script on the right, okay, specifically to Commissions Inc. leads on the right, okay, as worked into the universal callback script. It's the same script. but we've universally applied it now, the universal callback, we've universally applied it to commissions. Does everybody get that? So I'm demonstrating here the importance of the coaching and the training and why you need to be on these calls. Okay? Many of you have hundreds of leads, like hundreds. It's amazing the number of leads that you guys have, hundreds. But when I talk to you, you've got a handful of sales. And you're chasing down all these leads. You're talking to all these leads, but you're not able to affect change. And that's a bummer. That sucks, doesn't it? So let's affect some change. Let's see if we can take more of these leads and turn them into money. Okay? So you can see there, Commissions Inc., this is the introduction. Everything else is the same. Okay, so let me go back to my, let me erase all these drawings. Okay, and I know you guys are going to have some questions. I want you to ask them. We'll do some role playing as well. Okay, so up in your upper right hand corner, there's a control panel. You can type your question in. To raise your hand, we'll open up your microphone and we'll do some role playing here in just a jiffy. Okay, but just bear with me while I point out a few things that will make you better and smarter at using this stuff. Okay, all right. So the reason most real estate agents fail when it comes to lead conversion, in other words, getting more leads to say yes to meeting with you so you can turn them into signed agreements, is, well, quite simple, is they don't understand why the script is so important. Okay, why is the script important? All right, well, number one, it's my system. There's a plan. In other words, what's my, okay, let me ask you, what's your plan to convert the leads that you talk to on the telephone to face-to-face appointments? And then the next question is, what is your system for doing that? There is plan and there's system. My plan is to use the callback script. My system is to use the callback script. So you guys understand that. There's a plan and there's a system and they work together. Okay? But without message to media to market match applied, I'm going to muck it up. Okay, so I just demonstrated that. Now, here's where you start with all your new agents, new people that come in, and some of you old dogs, and I mean that affectionately, that have been here a while. Okay, what's the best way to learn how to do this and do it really well? Okay, all right, you ready? There are essentially 3 offers. I'm going to use my pen here to point them out to you. There's essentially 3 offers on this thing. 4 to be technically correct, but 2 of them fall into the same category. That's where you start. You start by memorizing the offers on the script. You can get a lot of things wrong when it comes to scripting, but the one thing that separates our system from everything else that you're engaged in, other people's training programs, for example, don't contain offers that are based on a method or system or way or proprietary way of doing things. Okay? Easy example is we have a method, what we call a system for working with buyers. Our system and our method for working with buyers, as you know, is like working with sellers. We meet with them face-to-face before we go look at homes. We present benefits to them. They sign an agreement establishing our fee and what we're going to do for them, and then we go find them homes and sell them a house. That's how we do things. That's our system for. So because we have a system for working with buyers, it's built into the scripting. Without that system, the script is different. Okay, it becomes one of just follow up and getting to know, and people try to justify like that's a great way to do things. Let's just talk them into doing business with us. Okay, and then those people that do that aren't necessarily rich agents or rich agent businesses. Okay, so hopefully you got that. So there are 3 offers. This is offer number 1. Okay, all right. This is offer number 2. Okay, and this is offer number 3. Okay, so we have the buy first offer, sell first offer, and then longer-term prospect offer. Everybody get that? So you can mess up a lot of things, but you cannot mess up the offers. You've got to memorize the offers. So at any given day, you can stand up and without any cheating, you can recite the offers. Okay, so you guys have got to memorize those. So when I role play with you, I'm just letting you know you can screw up stuff, but you can't screw that up. You can't screw up the offers. Okay, and those of you that are really good at getting appointments, you know this because you're just trying to get to the offer. Get them to say yes to the offer. Okay, so everybody get that? So you memorize the offers first. That's how I did it, and long time ago, and then the rest of it just fell into place. What happens with many of us is we get the universal callback script. Let me erase my drawings. Go back to normal drawing mode. Okay? And we start from the very first word, memorizing the script. I want you to look at this. That's a lot of freaking words, man, before you get to the offers. So I just got a call right before Andrea clicked the start button for today's webinar. My phone rang, and it was Jim Buttrow, the Marine from outside San Diego, California. Most of you guys know Jim. And if you don't know Jim, you're going to get to know him in Anaheim at the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference. He's going to be there. He's got a very special session that him and I have been working on for you. That's very good, and it will help you make more money. Okay, no question about it. So I won't get into too much details about that right now, but Jim was asking me some questions about that material in that session, and it had to deal with scripting. Okay, and it got me thinking about you in this webinar that we were getting ready to do. Is that the scripting or the script or the system is a direct result of how you want things done. Okay? How you want things done. So as long as you can remember that your offer is all about how you want things done, or the offer is because of how you do things, i.e. the way you work with buyers, the way you work with sellers, you're good. It's much easier to remember and memorize those offers. Okay? But I get that? Good. All right, good. Getting some positive thumbs up on that one. And then you can go back and the introduction, which will change because it's universally applied to whatever the prospect wants. Okay, so a sign call. Okay, so check it out, sign call. Okay, Mr. Smith, hi, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is because I received your request for information on our property there at 1065 Gunner Court, and I'm just calling you back there. Yep, and the guy, typically they'll interrupt you right away, want to know price, or to take a look at it, or how many bedrooms it has, or whatever, right? Okay, so again, the introduction will be modified, universally applied to the prospect that you're calling. Everybody gets that? Great. And then the rest of it's semantics. Establish motivation and timing. Okay, so does everybody get that? You're good? Excellent. Okay, so let's run through, let's go back and let's look at the offers. Okay, buy first offer, sell first offer, longer term prospect offer. Okay, so I want to deal right now with longer term prospect offers for a brief period of time, and then I'm going to invite you to engage me in some role playing here with some longer term prospects. Okay, now I understand that most of us, including me, would prefer to have all the prospects we're ready to buy and sell today. Wouldn't that be great? Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be heaven. Well, this ain't heaven. This is the earth. And it doesn't work that way. Buying or selling a home is a process. It's not an event. And you're going to get leads showing up all along the timeline for that process. People that just now woke up to this morning and decided they have a need and are considering it, all the way to the guy that just put an offer on a home yesterday. right? Because you're going to get everybody all along the process with the marketing, and that's fine. That's good. The majority of buyers and sellers out there, you guys, I think, know this, so bear with me if I'm repeating something that you guys are well familiar with. The majority, let's go with the minority. The minority of buyers and sellers are ready to do something now, and we'll say now's like next couple weeks, within the next 30 days, all right? And the vast majority are not. They're considering a move, but they're not ready to go right now. So if you're not good at handling the longer term prospects, then you will only be chasing the now business and you'll never make a quantum leap. Okay? But if you're good at the follow-up, establishing follow-up, getting people positioned for it and wanting it, then you're going to wake up in 6 months, 8 months from now with a bunch of people that are ready to move now. Okay? Not because your marketing changed, but because the prospect just moved through the timeline and you're golden. You got a bunch of people ready to go. So anyway, so let's look at the longer term prospects. Okay? You guys ready? So let's kind of do some mock role play through this. Are you folks planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? Well, I don't know, Todd. We just kind of started thinking about it. Okay, great. If you were to move, would you be staying in the area or moving away? We'd be staying in the area. Okay, so when do you think that might be? Probably next spring. Okay, all right. Now what do you do here? Okay, well, longer term prospects, man. If they're yes to 3 to 6 months, I got this offer and I got this offer. It's just a matter of figuring out which one I'm going to offer. Okay? Longer than 6 months, that's a longer term prospect. Okay? I have this and this. They're all part of the same thing. Okay? Yeah, next spring. All right, well, would you guys like to receive my free monthly newsletter to keep you in touch with what's happening in the marketplace? Sure. Okay, can I get your address? That's not on the script. Okay, can I get your email address? That's not on the script. And again, this is universally applied because the lead that I'm getting from whatever system I'm getting it from, I may be missing that. I may genuinely be missing email address. I may genuinely be missing mailing address. So I want to leverage the Market Watch newsletter to get the missing piece of information. Okay, so universal follow-up script applied to the prospect that I'm getting. I'm leveraging the newsletter to get the missing piece of information. Did you guys write that down? This is important. You want email, you want mailing address, and I'm getting ready to get all their phone numbers. Okay? So yeah, we'll probably move next spring. Okay, well, would you guys like to receive my free monthly newsletter to keep you in touch with what's happening in the marketplace? Yeah, sure. Okay, can I get your address? If I have their email address but missing their address. If I have both email and address, okay, great. Let me verify your information. Your email address is X, and your mailing address is X. Is that right? Yes. Okay, great. And then I just jump right here. Would it be okay if I followed up with you at a later time to see how things are going? Sure, that's fine. Okay, well, when's a good time for me to call you back? Why don't you call me back in January? Okay, great. I have this number, 770-355-8010. Is that your cell phone number? Yeah. Okay, and what's your home number? Does your wife have a phone number? Cell phone, what's her phone number? Okay, so I want to use their yes, giving me permission to follow back up at a future time frame as leverage to get other phone numbers. And again, you don't see that there. That question I just asked you is not there because the leads that you get, sometimes you have a bunch of phone numbers and sometimes you don't. So again, we're applying the callback script universally. It's a universal follow-up script, so you guys are getting it. Great job. Okay? So did you get that? Do I need to repeat that? Let me just repeat that for everyone. Okay? Would it be okay if I follow up with you at a later time to see how things are going? Sure. Okay, when's a good time for me to follow back up with you? Why don't you call me in January? Okay, fantastic. What's the best number for me to call you back then? They give it to me. If it's the same number I got, I say, okay, do you have a home phone number? Another cell phone number, your wife's cell phone number, so I leverage that to get the other phone numbers. You guys got that? Great. So now think about what I've just done. I've got a future prospect. I've got their address, their mailing address. They said yes to my monthly newsletter. Now I've got all these phone numbers based, and they've told me a good time to call them back. I put them into my contact management system. I launch my follow-up plan. That will schedule a call in half the time that they say, and they're going to get my platinum follow-up materials. If it's a seller prospect, if it's a buyer prospect, they're probably already getting homes. Okay, so that's how this works. You guys good with that? Okay, great. All right. So now that we've done a pretty good job here of talking about memorizing the script, or getting to know, or getting very learned at the script, knowing the offers first, okay, and then go back and worry about the rest of the script in terms of the memorization. All right. Now that we've done a pretty good job of that, I want to just draw your attention to a couple of things that were big game changers for me being where you are. Okay, you've heard me say these things before, but this is important. You'll notice in the offers here, okay, you'll notice in the offers there's a little bit of a break, okay? There's a little bit of a break from you making the offer and then closing for an appointment. Okay, especially over here on the buy first. Okay, very important. For buyers, you just don't want to talk about an appointment or getting together until they've said yes to getting what you're offering. In other words, I know in this script that you're looking at here on this screen, there's two offers within this buy first thing. There's the offer for getting access to the properties, and then there's the offer to get together. Don't combine them. Let them say yes to the offer for what you're for getting access to the homes, getting access to properties. And then when they say yes, then you close for your face-to-face appointment. All right, so earlier today, I was on with a Platinum member and their coach, and we were working on preventing or minimizing buyer appointment cancellations. How many of you guys are getting appointment cancellations? Okay, more than you want. Okay, so a few of you. I can see your hands raised. Not really. All right, so for the record, next week, at the end of next week, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, I'm going to be there along with about 150 of you that are coming to this Platinum OSA workshop. And at the workshop, those are the kinds of things that we cover and we work on extensively over the full 2 days that we're there. From the time the lead comes in, all those intricacies of the system apply to your business. And that includes dealing with appointment cancellations. Okay, so that you don't have any. Right? But the reason a lot of buyers cancel appointments could be that they forget, they don't see the value in it, and we could list all the reasons, right? But primarily the reason it happens is that you don't have a system to prevent it. How many of you guys would agree with that? Like you really don't have a system to prevent it. Let me, while we're on the subject, can I show it to you? Okay, I'm going to do that anyway. And I don't know how many of you guys said yes or no, but I'm going to pull it up right now. I happen to have it right here on my email. Ooh, man, that's hard to see. See if I can blow that up here, and I'll show you to you here in a minute. That does not look good. All right. I'm going to show it to you here. It's a little small. Otherwise, I got to go fishing. Okay. So this is a system to prevent buyer appointment cancellations. Can you guys see that? Preventing buyer appointment cancellations. Okay. I'm not able to blow it up here in my email without doing some things to it. But there's a system for that. So just so you know, there's a system to deal with all of these things, whatever issues you may be having. We cover that at the workshops. Okay. And you know how we kind of solved that? Is we just we made appointments primarily at the buyer's apartment or their house. So you know, that's what I mean by message to media to market match. You know, I'm getting coached by Craig, and it seemed that where he was in Newmarket, everybody was close by, right there by town, and they went into town on a regular basis. Well, I'm in Metro Atlanta, and there is no town. There's just sprawling suburbs, and the buyers we'd be talking to were across the city, and across the city means an hour away, you know, with traffic and those kinds of things. So they weren't really, there's all these little towns. So in other words, it was logistically a little bit different. So that's how we solved it, and that's how Craig told me to solve it. He goes, look, this is about your prospect, message to media to market match. So you may have to go meet them at their house or apartment. And I'm like, I get it. So over time, I begin to be a better understander of that whole concept of message, media, market, match. Okay? So anyway, just wanted to get that out there while we were on the subject. All right, let's go back to what we're working on. And let's get on with lead conversion. What do you say? All right, so here's what I'm looking for. I want to work on some follow-up with future prospects. I'll be the prospect, and I want you to get really good at getting my information. Okay, every ounce of information that you can get from me, so that when you go to follow up, you got it. Like the odds of you reaching the lead are greater. The opportunities to convert the lead don't escape you because you have more relevant information. All that stuff here. I want to work on that a little bit today, and that's the key to making a quantum leap. Okay. I know that some of you think the keys to make a quantum leap are getting more people that want to buy and sell today. Well, just so you'll know, that's people that want to buy and sell in the future when today comes. Okay, so give me 20 leads today that want to buy in 8 months. 8 months from now, I have 20 leads that want to buy right then. Okay? That's the way it works, man. So we teach you how to do that. We're doing a good job of that. You guys are catching on. So let's bring Andrea on, and let's, Andrea, tell everyone what to do to open up their microphones or to get involved here and do some role playing, you know, on this script, and we'll answer some questions if we got them as well.
Yes, sir. All you have to do is click the hand icon at the top of your control panel. You must have a mic or be on the telephone to participate. You can also type in the chat box. I believe it's at the bottom of your control panel. We have a ton of questions, and now we have some hands raised. We'll go with Marco Velasquez. Your mic is open.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
That one little to-do list, I guess, that you had about booking appointments, that one that you couldn't make any bigger. Can you get us a copy of that?
Sure. Let me show you where it's at. Okay, so let me open up my my screen here. So everybody watch this. Pay very close attention. Okay. So this is the member site. I'm going to Libraries, File Library. Okay. And when I click on the File Library button, it's going to get us right into the File Library. It's going to take a few seconds for it to stream through, all right, just based on what all we got going on and open. Okay, so when I get into the file library, there's a very special category library that I set up for you guys. It's called the Platinum OSA Workshop Library. Okay, so everybody can see that on the right-hand side of the screen. So I'm going to click on Platinum OSA Workshop Library. All right, here it is highlighted in blue. Okay. All right. So we have Platinum OSA Workshop Session 1, Session 2, Session 3. Okay. It's Session 2, VIP Buyer Conversion. So if I was to open up that manual, and I'll do that for kicks, I think it will only take a few seconds. There it is. I already had it open, actually. So there's the buyer qualifying form on slide 11. This is basically the buyer conversion system manual, okay, which has everything in it, step by step, scripting, dialogue, benefits presentation, and everything. So that's where you'll find it at. So I'd recommend everybody go and grab that. So let's take a look here. We have the script, and then we get right into dealing with objections. Everybody can see that. Common objections like, I just want to see the home. I want to just see that house, sign call or something like that. Okay, to booking the appointment and having a buyer qualifying a buyer profile form while you're still on the phone with them. That's a script. Okay, and then of course, now that we have the appointment, how do we prevent the appointment from canceling? And there's a system for that. So it's basically step by step, slide by slide here, and this is what I review with everyone and work on and give practical examples and scenarios at the OSA workshops. So that's what I'm getting at, is that many of you will go and grab this PowerPoint now and this manual from the file library, and I just want you to know that sometimes it just won't work without the coaching and the training on it. So you need to be at these workshops and things we're doing and on these calls. All right, so anyway, I think I answered your question on where that is and blowing it up and so you can see it and all that kind of good stuff, but are you guys running into some appointment cancellations now?
Yeah, it looks like we book them. I mean, we're booking maybe 3 or 4 a week, but you know, maybe 1 or 2. We're only getting 1 or 2 a week out of those, so it's like less than 50%.
Okay, all right, so let's talk about that, because I bet you that if you're having an issue with that, other people are as well, okay? And the leads are no good if we can't convert them, right? If they don't show up, like, what good are they? So there is a system for dealing with this, and let me just kind of walk you through it. It starts with, before you hang up the phone, while you're still on the phone with the prospect, okay, how they're treated and how they feel as the call is ending, okay? So if I go to my folder over here, I'm going to find something to help us out, okay? And I'm going to go to the September 2015 Anaheim folder that I've got for you guys. This is all materials that all of the team leaders, not everything, but a good bit of it, that you're going to get when you show up in September in Anaheim at the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference. And if we'll look right here, I have a buyer appointment confirmation script and email. I'm going to open it up. Okay, and there it is. After completing the qualifying appointment form, close the call using this script. So let's go back and we'll look at the buyer qualifying a form, okay, and then I close the call using this script. So I'm still on the phone with the guy. I just booked the appointment, okay, and now I've got a form that I use that looks just like we looked at right there, and it so that, okay, buyer, great, so that I can do the best possible job for you when we get together Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, let me ask you a few questions. And then I use this form to basically it's my script to qualify the prospect, okay? So are you guys currently renting, or do you own the home that you're in right now? So if I already know the answer to that question, I don't ask it, okay? So that's what they're there for. So again, you may, some of you, and I'm not saying you specifically there, but some people watching today's webinar would say, but isn't that in the universal callback script? And that's the question that Jim Buttrell asked me before we started the webinar. And I said, Jim, as you know, on the universal callback script, sometimes we don't ask all the questions because we know the answers to them, or we just naturally went faster to the offer. That's why it's on the qualifying form, because we still want to know. Because if the buyer is not renting and owns the house, and we didn't know that before getting to the offer and making the offer on it, we want to know that before we show up at his house. We can do a CMA and that sort of thing. Right. So anyway, so there's the qualifying form. Those are questions. Okay. I'll draw everybody's attention to: are you buying your next home by yourself or with someone else? Yeah, my wife and I. Okay, well, will she be available when we get together Saturday at 10? And if she's not, we've got to reschedule. And we got to try to get together at the same time. Okay? All right, so let's make sure I've got all of your contact information here. So I reiterate all the contact info. And then I've got a script. Okay, it's right here. We'll go back, show it to you guys. Buyer appointment confirmation script. Okay. All right, thanks for all the information. This will help me do a good job in providing you with the right information to best help you. I'm looking forward to meeting you Saturday at 10 a.m. at your house there at 1065 Gunner Court, or at our office at 435 Main Street in Beaufort. I'm going to send you an email with the address and all that stuff here in a moment. So just to recap, though, when we get together, I'm going to take down your exact home buying criteria, set you up to receive pictures and descriptions of homes from all the real estate companies in the area and the price range that you're looking for, as well as homes that you can't necessarily find on the internet, like foreclosures and corporate-owned homes and distress sales, even for sub-owners. We're going to use a special form with over 100 individual features that you can search by. So you're going to be a lot less likely here to miss out on the perfect home. And with the priority access you're going to get, you're going to be able to beat out other buyers for the best homes. So all I'm doing here is I'm reiterating or I'm repeating what they've already said yes to. I don't want to make the assumption, after me asking them these qualifying questions for the appointment, that they remember what it was they said yes to. So this is important first step to decreasing or minimizing appointment cancellations. Okay? And also built into this first step is letting them know that I'm going to send them an email or a text message that says right here, okay? All right, when I hang up, I'm going to send you an email with all my contact information, okay? And this will also contain a link to your very own customized home buyer kit or home seller kit that will help you buy your next home or sell your next home at the best price and with the least hassle. Okay, great. I'll see you Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. So I'm framing it, I'm staging it, I'm preparing them for what's going to happen, and then we carry these things out. Okay, so just to recap, preventing buyer appointment cancellations. Before you hang up the phone, reiterate the USP. Okay, send them a friendly note of the same thing. All your contact information. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday at 10. This is the email template right here. Okay, we include a link to the Ultimate Converter. Okay, and they may look at it, they may not. They will be more likely to look at it if you customize it for them, and we can talk about that at the conference. Those are the first two steps in preventing buyer appointment cancellations. So if I go back there, you'll see those. Oops, where'd it go? Here it is. Okay, now the other factor in this that might help you guys is avoid booking these appointments more than 48 hours out with buyers. Okay, and the one that I mentioned to you that was the big game changer for us is don't force them to come to your office. Maybe you go to their house or apartment. So if you will adopt those steps and that system, I think you'll see an increase in your appointment show-ups. Any other questions?
No, that's perfect. Awesome. I think it's going to really help me get the buyer confirmation. I think is really key for me.
Okay. All right, again, and these are things we work on in our workshops too. Okay, but this is a lead conversion call. James McDonald does the role play clinic, or somebody does, every week. So if you need more help on role playing, do this. This is a more advanced training webinar for Platinum members that deals overall with lead conversion. And of course, if we're not getting in front of the freaking leads and meeting with them, we can't convert anyone. So what we're talking about right now is absolutely relevant. I'm glad you brought it up. Great job. Andrea, let's go to the next.
Yes, sir. Our next is Anne Leguay. Your line is now open.
Hi.
Hello, Anne.
Hi. Yes, and so can we do I just have a question. Let's say, like, if this is somebody that you are trying to call for like several months already, so how would that work in terms of your opening script?
Gotcha. Okay. That's a great question. Let me pause Susan there, and let's take a look at an example here. Okay. Here's a lead from Commissions Inc. Okay. And I even have it here. It says older lead. I think you guys can see that. Is that big enough, Andrea? Can people see that? I got a big screen here.
Yes, I believe so.
All right. So you can see. Let me just say it. Okay, I'll read it or say it or whatever. Hey, Ann, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is I received a request to search for homes using our property search site, housesatlanta.net, not too awful long ago. Okay, and I'm just following up to see if you guys have bought a home yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a lead that I spoke to, or maybe it's an old lead that I didn't never speak to, and I'm trying to follow back up with him and get him on the phone, right? So that's how we apply the universal follow-up script in this circumstance. Universally applied, and you can see I've modified it based on message to market match. The message changes a little bit based on the timeline for the specific prospect or my follow-up call. Okay, so let's look at it from a free report perspective. Let's go down here and pull up the follow-up script. Okay. The big assumption that a lot of people make, Ann, is they think that the prospect remembers you talking to them. So let's fast forward 3 months, and you're making your follow-up call. It's okay to assume that the prospect does not remember the exact conversation that you had. Okay, but a good way to go about it would be, to say, hey, Ann, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate, and the reason I'm calling is we had talked not too awful long ago about real estate, and I'm just following back up to see if you guys have bought a home yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it's that simple. There's several different ways. If you want to reference the report, hey, we had spoke not too awful long ago, okay, a couple of months ago about real estate. You had ordered a free report from us on how to sell your home without an agent, save the commission. Yeah, I'm just following back up to see if you guys have bought a home yet. I'm just following back up to see if you guys have sold your home yet. I'm just following back up to see if you guys have made a move yet.
Okay.
Are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? So that's it. That's the scripting on follow-up. It's that simple, no more complex than that. Does that help you?
Yes. How about like you've seen that they've logged in recently, like you haven't talked to them for quite some time, and then you've seen them log in, let's say, like a few hours ago or yesterday.
But I have talked to them?
Yes, let's say like they were last year's lead.
Yeah. So I talked to them. Okay, hey, Ann, this is Todd Walters Real Estate. Hey, look, not too awful long ago, you had registered, to search for homes online using our property search site at housesatlanta.net. And just as a courtesy, I'm following up just to see if you guys have bought a home yet.
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months?
No.
Do you have an agent to help you when the time is right?
So same question still.
That's right. It's the same script. Okay? See, I know how it works. You have a contact management system, and you're talking about the Commissions Inc. system. If you have a contact management system there that actually has a timer, and it's counting down, okay? But it's counting down from what the prospect originally put in there, okay? So how do we know that they actually put in the right information? So that's why you want to ask the questions. Okay, so, and you'll find out that sometimes the timer is spot on, and sometimes it's not. Like, how would you explain time frame to buy in its past? Past time frame to buy. It's like they haven't bought yet, so obviously the timer's, has nothing to do with what the plans are in reality. So you have to ask the questions. It's a guide. It's to help you sift and sort prospects, but I wouldn't totally rely on it. What you just said is what you rely on. People that are using the system probably should be the ones you call back first. Yeah, great job. All right, so Andrea, let's move on.
Yes, sir. Our next member with their hand raised is John Brackett. Please go ahead.
Hello, John.
John, your line is open. Okay, we'll move on to Sarah Jang. Your line is open.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear, Miss Sarah Jane. How are you?
How are you, Todd?
Doing
Okay,
fantastic.
good. I have a quick question. So, when I'm trying to call a prospect, and then like I tried one yesterday, and I called, and man answered, said, "No, you have the wrong number." So I want to follow up with an email. So I'm wondering, do you have any email scripts available?
Okay. All right, so Andrea, how should I answer this question?
No.
All right, so Andrea, the call moderator, knows the answer to the question. All right, so let me repeat it for everybody, and I would pay very close attention to this. And Sarah, this is not anything against you, okay? Because that question you've asked is, here we are, 2015, okay? I've been at this for, I don't know, 25, 30 years or whatever it is. Just so you'll know that this is not the first time that question's been asked, okay?
Okay.
So here's the skinny on it. There is no magic email. None. So the idea is that you have enough leads or plenty of leads that actually have phone numbers that you probably don't pursue the ones with none. So I'll give you an example. If it's, we've been talking about Commissions Inc. a little bit, all right? So so you're getting leads from that. They're getting houses, and that system asks for their phone number along the way. So if they haven't given it up or don't give it, and you don't have a good phone number for them, remember they're already getting emails from you of what they want, which is houses. And so at some point, maybe they provide their phone number, maybe they don't. But you've also got a bunches of other prospects that have phone numbers. So you really want to try to focus on those and avoid the ones that don't give phone numbers or give fake information and stuff like that. So we were fortunate enough to have a lot of leads that had good information and phone numbers and that sort of thing, and that was all we could barely handle. We couldn't even handle all of those. So we just didn't play ball with people that didn't provide us their contact information.
Okay, yeah, I just got these leads, and I'm just going down the list, and so I wasn't sure how I should pursue those. So
Right, here's what you do. Call the ones that have good phone numbers.
Okay.
Because the time you would spend typing out an email or copy and pasting an email and sending it and all that kind of stuff is that. If you were on my team, I'd say that means you're not calling back the lead that has a phone number that would.
Got it.
And so that would be our approach, and that's served us really well over the years. And we're not going to be at this moment in time. I'll be candid. At this moment in history, we haven't found the magic email yet. Now,
Okay.
That doesn't mean that you couldn't send 100 emails and then all of a sudden you get one. One says, "Yeah, I want to talk to you," or "Call me at this number." That's not to say you can't do that, because I would imagine that you can. If you send enough, it's like cold calling. You call enough people in the phone book, somebody's going to say, "Yeah, I am thinking about making a move." But at what expense? And that's what I'm getting at. Is you should have a bunch of leads that have good phone numbers and follow up with those guys. And if you don't, then we need to address that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense then. Okay, thank you, Todd.
Yeah, great question. Thank you. Andrea, you get an A for the day.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Our next guest, Ronnie Risks. Your line is open. Ronnie? Okay, I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
There he is.
I'm here. Sorry, this is actually Fred. I'm calling from Ronnie. Anyways, how you doing, Todd?
Good, Fred.
All right. So I just have a quick question regarding the script, because the first motivation question will be are you folks planning on making a move within the next 3 to 6 months? So let's just say the lead says yes. So should I jump into the offer right away, or should I ask, the number 2 and number 3 and number 4?
Great question. That's very good. I'm glad you asked it. Okay? So let's specifically deal with that, and I would encourage everyone to pay very close attention to this. All right, so you got what you wanted there. They've told you they are planning on making a move. They are basically a now prospect. Anybody under 6 months, I would put into now business. I am going to work on closing that person for a face-to-face appointment. I'm going to work on it. Okay? But there's a couple of things that, before we really do that we may want to know. All right? Number one, when do you think you might move? Irrelevant. They've already told us. They're planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months. We don't need to ask that question. Okay? Staying in the area or moving away, what does it matter? They're planning on making a move. Okay? Especially if it's a seller, it doesn't matter whether they're staying in the area or moving away. They're moving out of their house. That's in the area. So that you could throw that one away. All right? So this is where we use our spidey sense. Okay, and it comes from experience and talking to a lot of these leads on maybe you ask this question, maybe you don't. Maybe you ask that question, maybe you don't. Okay, so experience will dictate over time. But the one thing that I would ask is, do you have an agent to help you when the time is right? Do you have a realtor to help you when the time is right? Are you guys currently working with a real estate agent? Okay, that question. Because it makes no sense to stay on the phone with someone and get all the way to the end and then find out that, is it okay if my agent comes to the appointment too? Like, that sucks. So ask that question and find out if they have an agent, don't have an agent. You'll see there's another question here that's not here, like, hey, do you have an agent that to help you when the time is right? And they say, yeah. You say, well, do you feel obligated to continue working with that agent? All right? So in other words, we can we can ask a little more probing question that's not there. But again, that comes with experience. Most of the people will just say no, and you can move on about your business. Okay? Now, here's the biggie. Which offer? Buy first or sell first?
Okay. Okay,
so if the guy asks for a home evaluation, right, find out what your home is worth online, and you got the lead that way, you're probably getting right to your CMA offer so they can get a more accurate price of what they can expect to sell their home for. Okay, versus saying, hey, would you prefer to buy first before selling your home, or did you want to put your home, you want to sell your home and then go out and buy something? So that you would know which offer to make. Okay, but the reason we coach you on finding out if it's a buy first or sell first offer is to learn specifically what I started the call with today, which is message to market match. Okay, but you will discover over time that you can skip over a lot of these questions and get right to the offer. That's what I meant, is you can screw up a lot of things, but we can't really screw the offer up to get appointments.
Right.
Yeah. So I answered your question generally and specifically there. For me, I want to get to the offer as quickly as possible. And I'm using my spidey sense to know whether I can just go straight to the CMA offer or do I need to use the buyer offer. And if I'm unsure, you ask.
Okay. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, man. That was a good question.
Our next guest is Philip Doyen. Your mic is now open. Philip, you're muted on your end. Just hit the red mic button. Okay. Philip, he wants to role play. I know that. Go ahead and try to hit the red mic button again. Not getting anything.
I think Philip came out of the IT field there. He's with Group McKay.
Okay, we'll move on to some questions in the chat box. We have Alexandra. I have a few leads from Bold Leads that emailed me back after signing up, not to call them. They've been responsive on the email. I assume I shouldn't call them since they've asked for it.
Well, I don't know. I don't quite get the question, but let me say this about the leads. People request a home evaluation, and I have their phone number. I just call them. Like, I understand that, you know, there's probably a bunch of emailing going on, and and I don't understand that. I don't understand the emails. You know, we call them and we tell them, hey, we received your request for a home evaluation and just wanted to let you know we've sent that on over there to you. Is that okay? All right, so that's what we call and ask. Or we call and say, rather. I don't know. The more you email before you call, the more likely they are to say, don't bother calling me. So probably just send them the list of home sales, and call them. Okay, or if you're using the tool that automatically sends them the CMA, pretty easy. Just call them up. Hey, Mr. Smith, this is Todd Walters with Todd Walters Real Estate. And the reason I'm calling is I received your request for a home evaluation, and I just wanted to let you know that we've sent that on over there to you. Is that okay? Are you planning on making a move in the next 3 to 6 months? So if the guy pipes in and says something like, didn't you get my email to not call me? And I got to be honest with you, I never had that personally. So if you guys are getting something like that from those leads, I would want to know about that when you talk to them on the phone. Okay. So anyway, that's the way I would approach the bold leads, and you'll be all the better for it. Hey, let's deal with this real quick here before we have to wrap this thing up. Is if you're sending a home evaluation, you know, on a lead from bold leads or any of your other marketing campaigns that find out what your home is worth. If you've already given them the home evaluation, like, what are you offering them? What's that? Right, you are offering them a more accurate price of what, you know, because you can, by seeing the house. If you see the home, you can give them a more accurate price of what they can expect to sell the home for, plus the tips on what to do and, more importantly, what not to do to get the most amount of money when you get ready to sell it, and a breakdown of all the costs you'll have so you much have left in your pocket at closing. So that's how the offer universally changes a little bit based on message to market match. So people missed out without the coaching, because sometimes, well, hey, would you like a market evaluation to determine what you could sell your home for? And the person's like, well, I thought that's what you sent me. I thought that's what I signed up for. Okay? So you can just, quick little modification there, more accurate price of what you can expect to sell your home for. Okay? Plus the other goodies that I just mentioned there. And then you'll get a little less of that and a lot more yeses, and come over and take a look at my home. All right, Andrew, we have time for one more question.
Okay, this is from David. I keep getting voicemail. How many times do I keep calling back?
Well, eventually it kind of works where you just don't have time to call them back, I think, right? You got more leads than you can get to, and the people that just don't ever pick up the phone, they just kind of fade away. But maybe in the future there's a lull, and you can circle back up and make some of those calls, or you bring on another agent or an inside sales agent, and you delegate some of those overflow to them. But I remember, I wish I had some of the screenshots from my old contact management system and some of the training I would do, and I could show you how literally some of the agents on my team would call prospects 50, 60 times. There'd be 50 or 60 slashes where they had called. Okay? And depending on the slash, backwards or forwards, it meant left a message or didn't. So anyway, these are just things that we do. And I don't think there's a rule on number of times. Okay? I don't have one. Craig doesn't have one. Okay? But there is a rule on not enough times. Have you reached the lead yet? No. You got to keep calling them, man. Okay? Here's the message. If the prospect's name is Andrea, it's Andrea, This is Todd. Call me, 770-355-8010. Okay, that's a message you can leave. Pretty simple message. Andrea would say, who's Todd? Probably be more likely to return the call. Or you call, the voicemail comes on, you immediately hang up without leaving a message, and then immediately call right back. Okay, so you can pull that one. So there's a few little tricks here that can work to your favor to getting people to pick up the phone. You can call from a blocked number so that there's no caller ID. You can call from your cell phone. So there is caller ID. You can call from your office number. All of these things should be tried when you're trying to reach leads, and you'll find patterns and things that work better with some leads than with others. And that's how it works. Okay, but yes, we have to reach the leads, and if we don't, we're pretty much not going to be able to sell very many houses. Okay, that's why you need good balance of leads that are calling you saying, hey, I want to talk to you about this house. I want to talk to you about selling my house. And we work on that coming up here in Anaheim at the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference. A lot of now business. Okay, and of course, the leads that are not quite ready to do anything right now or not expecting a call, we've got those marketing systems as well. We spent a lot of time on that today. So with that, I want to encourage everybody to put these practices in place in your business. There's a lot of really great golden nuggets here we talked about today. That was a lot of fun. And hopefully I gave you some guidance on really doing a better job at the script by memorizing the offers first. Starting from that perspective, that was a big deal for me. And I don't know if I just talked about it enough. So with that, that's going to wrap up our session today, Platinum Lead Conversion Webinar. You guys are awesome. Looking forward to seeing most of you in Toronto and all of you at the Platinum Millionaire Agent Maker Conference in Anaheim in September for our biggest, most amazing business building conference we've ever put on for our coaching program members. So it's going to be the ticket to you quantum leaping your real estate business here at the end of this year in 2016. So Andrea, thanks for all your help and work. You are awesome.
Thank you, Todd.
Yep, so that'll wrap it up today. Thanks, everyone, and I'll talk to you soon.